Welcome. You've arrived at a place of peace, a space carved out from the busy world, a sanctuary designed for one purpose, to help you rest. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, no problem you need to solve. You are simply here, and that is enough. Tonight, we're going on a journey together. Not a journey that requires effort or movement, but one that invites you to be still, to listen, to allow your mind to wander gently through the landscape of clouds and sky. You may wonder, why clouds? Why spend hours exploring these ephemeral formations that drift above us? The answer is simple. Clouds are nature's perfect meditation, visible calm made manifest in the sky. For thousands of years, humans have looked up at clouds and felt something shift inside them. A slowing, a softening, a sense of perspective returning. There's wisdom in this ancient response, wisdom that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to understand and confirm. When you observe clouds, something profound happens in your brain. Pathways associated with rest activate, stress responses diminish, and your entire nervous system receives a signal that it's safe to let go. This isn't just poetic language. It's measurable, observable reality. And over the next hours, we'll explore exactly why and how clouds calm the mind, weaving together science and story, facts and feeling, knowledge and peace. You don't need to concentrate intensely on every word. In fact, it's better if you don't. Let this be like watching clouds themselves. Sometimes your attention will focus clearly, sometimes it will drift away, and both are perfectly fine. There's no test at the end, no need to remember anything, no requirement that you stay awake for all of it. If you drift into sleep after 5 minutes or 50, that's perfect. That's the entire purpose. This story will continue whether you're conscious or dreaming, and its gentle rhythm will accompany you either way. Before we begin, take a moment right now to settle yourself. Adjust your position until you're completely comfortable. Let your body sink into whatever surface supports you. Feel the weight of your head on your pillow, the heaviness of your arms and legs, the rise and fall of your breath. Notice how your body already knows how to rest. You don't have to teach it. You simply have to allow it. Now, take a slow, deep breath in. Hold it gently for a moment. And release it with a soft sigh, letting tension flow out with the exhale. Good. Do that once more. Breathe in slowly, feeling your chest and belly expand. Hold. And release, letting your shoulders drop, your jaw relax, your face soften. As we move through this journey, you'll discover facts about clouds, but you'll never hear them presented as a list or a lecture. Instead, they'll emerge naturally, woven into a continuous story about why clouds bring such profound peace to the human mind. You'll learn about the science of vision and light, about atmospheric physics and water cycles, about psychology and neurology, about meteorology and mythology. But more than learning, you'll feel. You'll feel your breathing slow. You'll feel your thoughts quiet. You'll feel yourself letting go. Some people find that understanding the mechanisms behind peace helps them access it more deeply. When you know why something works, your mind can trust the process more fully. Others simply need permission to rest, and the gentle rhythm of a story to guide them into sleep. This journey offers both understanding and permission, science and story, knowledge and peace. You might be lying in bed right now, ready for sleep. Or perhaps you're resting during the day, seeking respite from a busy mind. Maybe you've struggled with sleep for a long time, or maybe you simply want company in the quiet hours. Whatever brought you here, you're welcome. This space is for you. Over the next hours, we'll drift through different aspects of clouds and calm. We'll explore how clouds form and why that matters for your peace of mind. We'll discover what happens in your brain when you watch clouds drift across the sky. We'll learn about different types of clouds and the unique forms of comfort each one offers. We'll think about light and color, about cycles and patterns, about connection and perspective. And through it all, we'll return again and again to the central truth. You are part of the same system that creates clouds, governed by the same fundamental principles, capable of the same effortless transformation. There's no right way to experience this journey. You might listen to the entire thing, letting the hours pass in a state of deep relaxation. You might fall asleep quickly and wake hours later to find the story still continuing, like a patient friend who stayed by your side. You might return to this recording night after night, each time drifting into sleep at different moments, gradually absorbing the full story across many visits. All of these are perfect. There is no wrong way to rest. As we prepare to begin, remember this: you deserve rest. You deserve peace. You deserve to spend hours doing nothing but letting your nervous system recover from the demands of consciousness. Modern life tells you that rest is earned, that peace must be achieved, that every moment should be productive. But clouds teach a different lesson. They simply exist. They don't earn their place in the sky. They don't achieve their beauty. They don't produce anything. They simply are, and in their being, they're perfect. You, too, are perfect in your being, even in rest, especially in rest. You don't need to accomplish anything in these hours. You don't need to sleep correctly or relax properly or listen attentively. You simply need to be here, breathing, existing, allowing yourself this gift of time without purpose, this sanctuary of story and silence. So let us begin. Let us start where all peace begins, with a single breath, a single moment, a single cloud drifting across the vast expanse of sky. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a cloud drifting across an endless sky. Feel your breathing slow as you imagine its gentle movement. There's something deeply calming about clouds, something that speaks to the most ancient parts of our minds. Tonight, we're going to explore why clouds bring such profound peace to our brains, and as we drift through this story together, you may find yourself floating along with them. Our journey begins with understanding that when you look at a cloud, your brain is actually experiencing one of nature's most perfect relaxation triggers. The soft, billowing shapes of clouds activate what neuroscientists call the default mode network in your brain. This is the same neural pathway that engages during meditation and daydreaming, allowing your mind to wander freely without the sharp focus that creates mental fatigue. As clouds drift across the sky, Your eyes naturally follow their unhurried pace, and something remarkable happens in your visual cortex. The smooth, organic edges of clouds lack the harsh lines and angles that our brains must work hard to process. Unlike buildings or screens or books, clouds have no corners demanding your attention, no straight edges requiring precise neural calculation. This softness means your visual processing centers can finally rest. Your occipital lobe, which works tirelessly all day to make sense of sharp contrasts and define boundaries, relaxes into a gentle rhythm when observing clouds. It's like the difference between reading fine print and gazing at a watercolor painting. Your brain simply doesn't have to try as hard. And then there's the color. The whites and grays of clouds trigger something profound in our nervous system. White, in particular, contains all wavelengths of visible light in equal measure, creating what color psychologists call chromatic rest. Your cone cells, the photoreceptors responsible for color vision, receive balanced stimulation rather than the bombardment of harsh blues from screens or intense reds from warning signs. This balanced input sends calming signals through your optic nerve, traveling back to your thalamus and spreading a sense of visual peace throughout your mind. But clouds do something even more fascinating with light itself. As sunlight passes through water droplets and ice crystals suspended in the air, it scatters in countless directions through a process called meascattering. This creates the soft, diffused illumination that filters down on overcast days. Your pineal gland, the small structure deep in your brain that regulates your sleep-wake cycle, responds to this gentle light differently than it does to harsh, direct sunlight. Diffused light from clouds encourages the gradual production of melatonin, that precious hormone that helps you drift into sleep. This is why many people feel naturally drowsy on cloudy days, their brains responding to nature's own dimmer switch. The movement of clouds also plays a crucial role in calming your mind. When you watch clouds drift across the sky, they typically move at a pace between 3 and 30 miles per hour, depending on the altitude and wind conditions. This creates visual motion that's fast enough to hold your attention but slow enough to feel effortless. Your brain's motion processing centers, located in an area called V5 or NT, track this movement with minimal effort. It's the perfect speed for what psychologists call soft fascination, where your attention is gently held without being demanded. This allows your prefrontal cortex, the command center for executive function and worry, to take a much-needed rest. Consider how clouds form, and you'll understand another layer of their calming influence. Water vapor rises from the earth, cooling as it ascends, condensing around tiny particles of dust or salt to create the droplets we see as clouds. This process is so gradual, so patient, occurring over hours and miles of sky. When you understand this slow transformation, your mind unconsciously mirrors that patience. Your breathing deepens. Your thoughts slow to match the leisurely pace of cloud formation. You're connecting with a process that has unfolded the same way for billions of years, long before humans walked the earth, and will continue long after. This connection to something ancient and unchanging provides what psychologists call temporal perspective, which naturally reduces anxiety about immediate concerns. The science of clouds reveals something beautiful about their composition. A typical cumulus cloud, one of those puffy fairweather clouds you might draw as a child, weighs approximately 1.1 million pounds. Yet it floats effortlessly above you. This paradox is deeply soothing to contemplate. Something so massive can be so light, so weightless in appearance. Your brain processes this contradiction and finds permission in it. Perhaps your own heavy thoughts can also find a way to float. Perhaps weight doesn't mean what you thought it meant. The water droplets in clouds are so small, just 10 to 20 microns in diameter, that air resistance keeps them aloft. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest forces, the gentlest support, is enough to keep even the heaviest burdens suspended. And clouds are always changing, never static, which provides another source of calm. Unlike a painting on a wall or a photograph, clouds continuously reshape themselves. As you watch, they stretch and compress, merge and separate, creating new forms moment by moment. This constant transformation engages what neuroscientists call pattern recognition networks in your brain, but in a way that never resolves into a final answer. There's no puzzle to solve, no pattern to predict. Your mind can simply observe without the pressure to conclude. This open-ended engagement is deeply restful, allowing your default mode network to activate while your task-oriented networks rest. The different types of clouds each offer their own form of comfort. Cirrus clouds, those wispy, feather-like formations high in the sky, are made almost entirely of ice crystals. They float at altitudes above 20,000 feet, where the air is cold and thin. When you see them stretched across the sky like delicate brushstrokes, you're watching wind patterns made visible. These clouds move with the jet stream, sometimes traveling at over 100 miles per hour, yet from the ground, they appear to barely move at all. This disconnect between their actual speed and their perceived stillness teaches your brain something important about perspective. What seems overwhelming up close can appear peaceful from a distance. Your anxieties, when viewed from the right perspective, might also seem less urgent, less sharp. Stratus clouds, those gray blankets that cover the entire sky, create what meteorologists call overcast conditions. While some might find this gloomy, these clouds actually provide exceptional psychological benefits. The uniform grayness eliminates the decision fatigue that comes from a complex visual environment. Your brain doesn't have to choose where to look, what to focus on, which detail to prioritize. Everything is equal under a stratus layer. This visual democracy is profoundly relaxing for minds exhausted by constant choice. Furthermore, stratus clouds often bring gentle rain, and the sound of rainfall is itself a powerful sleep aid. The patter of drops on leaves and rooftops creates what audio engineers call pink noise, a sound frequency that masks other environmental sounds while promoting the deeper stages of sleep. Let's drift higher now, to where clouds form in the first place. The layer of atmosphere where most clouds exist is called the troposphere, extending from the Earth's surface up to about 33,000 feet. Within this layer, temperature decreases with altitude at a rate of about 3.5 degrees Fahrenheit per 1,000 feet. This gradient creates the perfect conditions for water vapor to condense and clouds to form. But here's what's remarkable for your brain. This entire system operates on principles of natural balance. Warm air rises, cool air sinks, moisture evaporates and condenses, all in an endless cycle that requires no effort, no force, no control. When you contemplate clouds, you're contemplating a system that simply is. It doesn't try. It doesn't struggle. It exists in perfect equilibrium with the physical laws of the universe. Your mind, observing this effortless existence, receives permission to stop trying so hard, to stop forcing, to simply be. The water cycle that creates clouds is itself a meditation on transformation and return. The same water molecules that form the clouds you see today have been cycling through the atmosphere for billions of years. They've been snowflakes on mountain peaks, raindrops in ancient forests, morning dew on primordial ferns, and now they're clouds again. These molecules have no memory, no attachment to their previous forms. They simply transform, cycle, and return. This endless circulation without accumulation or loss mirrors the breathing of your own body. Inhale, exhale, breath becomes cloud, cloud becomes rain, rain returns to ocean, ocean returns to cloud. You are part of this cycle, breathing out water vapor with every exhale, contributing your own moisture to the atmosphere. In this way, you are always making clouds, always participating in their formation. This connection can be deeply grounding, reminding you that you're not separate from nature but woven into its most fundamental processes. Colors in clouds do something special as the sun sets. During golden hour, when the sun hangs low on the horizon, clouds become canvases for oranges, pinks, and purples. This happens because sunlight must travel through more of the atmosphere, scattering away the shorter blue wavelengths and allowing the longer red and orange wavelengths to dominate. Your brain responds to these warm colors by releasing endorphins and reducing cortisol, the stress hormone. The sight of a sunset-painted cloud is not just aesthetically pleasing, it's biochemically calming. Ancient humans would have seen these colors as signals that the day was ending, that it was time to return to safety, to rest. Your modern brain still carries this association, this signal that danger has passed, that you can let down your guard. Even the names of clouds carry a certain poetry that soothes the mind. Cumulus, from the Latin word for heap or pile. Stratus, meaning layer. Cirrus, meaning curl of hair. Nimbus, meaning rain cloud. These names were standardized in 1802 by Luke Howard, an English pharmacist and amateur meteorologist who wanted to create a common language for describing clouds. Before Howard, every culture and every observer had their own words, their own ways of seeing. But Howard recognized that clouds, despite their infinite variety, fell into patterns that could be named, understood, shared. This act of naming created connection across cultures and generations. When you learn these names, you're joining a conversation that has lasted more than 2 centuries, speaking a language that transcends borders. This sense of connection, of being part of something larger, naturally reduces the isolation that often accompanies stress and anxiety. Let's consider the silence of clouds. Despite their enormous size and constant transformation, clouds make no sound. They form silently. They drift silently. They dissipate without a whisper. This silence is profound in a world filled with noise. Even rain, the only sound clouds might be said to make, is really the sound of water droplets striking surfaces, not the clouds themselves. The true existence of clouds is soundless. When your mind focuses on this silence, it creates a space for your own internal noise to quiet. Thoughts that clamor for attention begin to settle. Worries that echo loudly start to soften. The silence of clouds becomes a mirror for the silence you can cultivate within yourself. There's also something deeply satisfying about the way clouds reflect light. The tops of clouds, facing the sun, can be brilliantly white, almost painfully bright. But their undersides are often gray or even dark, especially in thicker clouds. This contrast exists because the tops reflect sunlight directly back into space, while the undersides are in shadow, receiving only scattered, diffused light. Your brain processes this natural gradation, this transition from light to dark, as a form of depth and dimension. Unlike flat, uniform surfaces, clouds offer your visual system subtle complexity without overwhelming detail. This just right level of visual interest is called the Goldilocks zone of perception, where stimulation is neither too much nor too little. In this zone, your brain achieves optimal rest while remaining engaged enough to avoid boredom. Have you ever noticed how clouds seem larger near the horizon than they do directly overhead? This is called the moon illusion, and it affects clouds just as it affects the moon. The effect is psychological rather than physical. When clouds are near the horizon, your brain has reference points, trees and buildings and mountains, that provide context for size. This tricks your perception into seeing the clouds as larger than they actually are. When clouds are directly overhead, you lack these reference points, so they appear smaller. This quirk of perception reveals something important about your brain. It's constantly interpreting, constantly adding meaning and context to raw sensory data. You're never seeing reality directly. You're always seeing your brain's best interpretation of reality. Understanding this can be freeing. If your perception is always an interpretation, then you have some control over how you interpret what you see. You can choose to see clouds, and perhaps your life circumstances, through a lens that emphasizes peace rather than threat. The temperature of clouds varies dramatically depending on their altitude. Low stratus clouds might be relatively warm, near the ambient air temperature at ground level. But high cirrus clouds exist in a realm where temperatures plunge to -40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. The ice crystals that form these clouds are frozen solid, tiny geometric structures more similar to snowflakes than to rain droplets. Despite this freezing environment, these clouds appear soft and gentle from below. There's a lesson here about appearances and reality, about the hidden extremes that can underlie peaceful exteriors. But rather than finding this disconcerting, it can be comforting. Even in harsh conditions, beauty forms. Even in hostile environments, clouds exist peacefully. This resilience, this ability to be what you are regardless of conditions, is something your own mind can aspire to. Clouds also play a crucial role in regulating Earth's temperature, acting as a blanket that can both warm and cool our planet. During the day, clouds reflect sunlight back into space, cooling the surface below. At night, they trap heat radiating from the ground, keeping temperatures warmer than they would be under clear skies. This dual function, this ability to both insulate and reflect depending on the time of day, makes clouds essential regulators of climate. Your brain, observing this balance, unconsciously recognizes clouds as protective, as guardians of stability. This recognition taps into a deep evolutionary comfort. For millions of years, clouds have signaled that conditions would remain moderate, that extremes would be buffered. Your nervous system has learned to associate clouds with safety, with the absence of harsh conditions. Even if you've never consciously thought about it, some part of your brain relaxes when clouds appear, knowing that the environment is being regulated, that you're protected. The lifespan of individual clouds is surprisingly short. A small cumulus cloud might exist for just 10 to 15 minutes before dissipating. Larger clouds can last for hours, but they're still ephemeral in the grand scheme of things. Yet despite this brevity, clouds are always present somewhere. As one cloud fades, another forms. The sky is never without them for long. This constant renewal, this cycle of formation and dissolution, mirrors the Buddhist concept of impermanence. Everything changes. Everything passes. But in the passing, there is also constant creation, constant newness. Your worries, like clouds, are not permanent. They form, they grow, they dissipate. New worries may form, just as new clouds appear, but they too will pass. Watching clouds teaches your brain to hold experiences more lightly, to remember that this too shall pass, that nothing lasts forever, and that this is not something to fear but something to find peace in. At night, clouds take on a different character. They may be invisible against the dark sky, their presence known only by the way they obscure stars. Or they may catch the light of the moon, glowing softly with reflected lunar luminescence. Or they may light up from below with the amber glow of city lights, creating an eerie but beautiful effect. These nighttime clouds remind you that peace exists even in darkness, that beauty doesn't require sunlight, that rest comes when you let go of the need for constant visibility and clarity. Just as clouds exist peacefully in the dark, you too can rest without needing to see everything, understand everything, control everything. The phrase Cloud 9 comes from an old classification system used by the United States Weather Bureau in the 1950s. In this system, clouds were numbered from 1 to 9, with 9 being the cumulonimbus, the tall, dramatic clouds that can reach heights of 50,000 feet or more. These towering clouds are associated with powerful updrafts and can produce spectacular weather. Being on Cloud 9 meant being at the highest level, experiencing the most intense and elevated emotions. But there's another way to think about this phrase. Being on Cloud 9 isn't about intensity, it's about letting go. It's about allowing yourself to be carried by forces beyond your control, to trust in the updrafts of life, to reach heights without effort or strain. When you imagine yourself on cloud 9, you're not clinging or climbing. You're simply being held aloft, supported by air, floating with effortless grace. The light filtering through clouds on an overcast day is often called diffused light or soft light, and photographers prize it for its quality. Unlike direct sunlight, which creates harsh shadows and bright highlights, cloud-filtered light wraps around subjects, illuminating them evenly from all angles. This creates an environment where everything is visible but nothing is glaring, where details are clear but gentle. Living in a world of soft light, even temporarily, gives your visual system a reprieve from the constant adjustment required in high-contrast environments. Your pupils don't have to constrict and dilate rapidly. Your iris muscles can relax. The entire chain of visual processing, from eye to brain, operates in a lower gear. This physiological rest translates to mental rest, allowing your entire nervous system to settle into a calmer baseline. There's a phenomenon called cloud seeding, where particles like silver iodide are introduced into clouds to encourage precipitation. These particles serve as nuclei around which water droplets can form, hastening the process that would otherwise occur naturally around dust or salt. While controversial in its practical applications, cloud seeding reveals something beautiful about the nature of clouds. They're on the edge of transformation, always ready to change state, needing only the smallest trigger to release their moisture and return it to Earth. Your own mind exists in a similar state. You're always on the edge of letting go, of releasing the tensions you've accumulated. Sometimes all you need is the right trigger, the right thought, the right perspective, to let that release occur. Watching clouds, thinking about clouds, can be that silver iodide for your mind, the nucleating particle around which your stress can finally condense and fall away. The water droplets in clouds are so small that they're measured in microns, millionths of a meter. A single droplet is invisible to the naked eye. Yet billions of these microscopic droplets together create structures visible from miles away, even from space. This scaling, from the invisibly small to the massively large, demonstrates the power of accumulation. Each droplet is insignificant alone, but together they create beauty that can cover horizons. In the same way, each moment of peace you cultivate, each breath you take mindfully, might seem trivial. But accumulated over time, these small moments create a life of greater calm, a mental landscape as expansive and beautiful as a sky full of clouds. Let's think about the edge of a cloud. You might imagine clouds have clear boundaries, a definite line where cloud ends and clear air begins. But in reality, clouds fade gradually. At the edges, water droplets become more sparse, the density decreasing until there's simply more air than water and your eye no longer perceives a cloud. This gradual transition, this lack of hard boundaries, is soothing to contemplate. Life rarely has clear edges either. One emotion blends into another. One day fades into the next. Thoughts merge and separate. Like clouds, you exist in gradients and transitions, not in sharp divisions. Accepting this, allowing boundaries to be soft and permeable, reduces the mental strain of trying to categorize and separate everything into neat, distinct boxes. When the sun is low on the horizon, Clouds can create what's called crepuscular rays, those dramatic beams of light that stream through gaps in the clouds. These rays, sometimes called God rays or Jacob's ladder, are actually columns of illuminated air, made visible because the rest of the sky is in shadow. What appears to be rays spreading out from the sun are actually parallel columns made to appear convergent by perspective. Your brain loves these patterns. They suggest depth, movement, and direction while remaining fundamentally peaceful. Crepuscular rays are dramatic without being threatening, dynamic without being chaotic. They're the visual equivalent of a swelling orchestral note that lifts your heart without startling you. When you see these rays, your brain releases a cascade of positive neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin among them, creating a sense of awe that physiologically reduces stress. The highest clouds in our atmosphere are called noctilucent clouds, existing at the edge of space at altitudes of around 50 miles. These clouds are so high that they can still catch sunlight long after the sun is set below the horizon, glowing with an ethereal blue-white light against the darkened sky. They're made of ice crystals formed around meteor dust, the remnants of shooting stars providing the nuclei for these extraordinary formations. Noctilucent clouds are rare and beautiful, visible only during summer months at high latitudes. They represent the extreme of cloud formation, the furthest reach of Earth's water into space. Knowing that these clouds exist, that water vapor can reach the very edge of our atmosphere and create beauty in the twilight, expands your sense of what's possible. If clouds can exist in such extreme conditions, creating wonder at the boundary between our world and the void beyond, perhaps you too can find peace in the extreme edges of your experience, in the transitional moments between waking and sleeping, between day and night, between thought and stillness. Consider also the way clouds gather. Meteorologists speak of cloud streets, parallel rows of cumulus clouds that form when wind patterns create repeating cycles of rising and sinking air. These orderly formations, visible from space as long white lines across the ocean, demonstrate how chaos organizes itself into pattern. The atmosphere is turbulent, filled with swirling eddies and unpredictable currents, yet out of this chaos, order emerges. Cloud streets are spontaneous organization, structure arising from complexity without any governing intelligence or controlling force. Your mind operates similarly. Given the right conditions, your scattered thoughts naturally organize themselves. You don't have to force clarity, you simply have to provide the conditions, the mental equivalent of steady wind and unstable air, and patterns emerge on their own. Meditation, rest, and observation of peaceful phenomena like clouds create those conditions. The anvil shape of a mature cumulonimbus cloud, that flat-topped formation that makes thunderheads so distinctive, forms when rising air reaches the stratosphere. The stratosphere is warmer than the upper troposphere, creating a temperature inversion that acts like a ceiling. Rising air spreads out horizontally when it hits this layer, creating the characteristic anvil. This spreading happens at altitudes of 40,000 feet or more, in air so thin and cold that ice crystals form instantly. Despite the violence of the thunderstorm below, the anvil itself is peaceful, a spreading canopy of ice that can extend for hundreds of miles downwind from the storm. This reminds you that even in turmoil, there are layers of peace. Even when your life feels stormy, there are altitudes of your being where calm exists, where spreading out is possible, where you can extend beyond the immediate turbulence into a broader, quieter space. Clouds affect our perception of time. On a sunny day with a clear blue sky, time can feel sharp and distinct, each moment clearly delineated by the march of shadows across the ground. But on a cloudy day, when light is diffused and shadows are soft or absent, time becomes more fluid. Hours blend together. The pressure of the clock seems less urgent. This temporal softening is one reason overcast days feel restful. Your brain, lacking the clear temporal markers provided by shadows, relaxes its vigilance about time. This allows you to exist more fully in the present moment, less concerned with how much time has passed or how much remains. It's a gentle way of tricking your mind into mindfulness, allowing clouds to be your meditation teacher, instructing you in the art of letting go of time's demands. Let's think about fog, which is really just a cloud at ground level. When you walk through fog, you're walking through a cloud, immersed in the same water droplets that form those beautiful shapes in the sky. Fog reduces visibility, sometimes dramatically, but rather than being frightening, fog often feels cozy and intimate. It creates a small bubble around you, a personal space where the world beyond fades into soft grayness. This reduction of the visual field can be deeply calming for overwhelmed minds. When you can't see far, you stop worrying about distant concerns. When the horizon disappears, you naturally focus on the immediate, the close, the here and now. Fog teaches you that it's okay to not see everything, that limited visibility can actually be a gift, a chance to attend to what's near rather than constantly scanning for distant threats or opportunities. The color of clouds changes not just with time of day but with their thickness. Thin clouds allow more light to pass through and appear brighter white. Thicker clouds block more light, appearing darker gray. The very thickest clouds, those that might produce heavy rain or hail, can appear almost black, their density preventing virtually all light from penetrating. This variation in brightness, all within the range of white to gray to black, provides your eyes with a limited color palette that's extraordinarily restful. Unlike the full-spectrum bombardment of a colorful scene, the monochromatic nature of most clouds gives your color processing systems a rest. The cones in your eyes, which work hard to distinguish reds from greens from blues, can stand down. Only your rod cells, sensitive to brightness but not color, need to engage fully. This partial system rest is like using only half your muscles during a workout, allowing the unused portions to recover while still providing engagement and activity. If you were to collect all the water in a single cumulus cloud and convert it to liquid, you'd have about 100,000 gallons, enough to fill a small swimming pool. Yet this water is distributed across such an enormous volume of air that the cloud appears light and fluffy, as insubstantial as cotton. This dispersal, this spreading of weight across space, is something your mind can learn from. Your worries, your responsibilities, your concerns, might collectively be quite heavy. But when you spread them across time, when you allow them to be distributed rather than concentrated, they become more bearable. A cloud doesn't carry all its water in one place, it spreads it out. You don't have to carry all your burdens at once, You can spread them across the hours and days, dealing with each as it comes rather than trying to hold everything simultaneously. The study of clouds is called nymphology, and the people who dedicate their lives to understanding these atmospheric phenomena are nymphologists. They measure, predict, classify, and marvel at clouds with scientific rigor. But nymphology is also practiced by everyone who pauses to look up, who takes a moment to appreciate the shapes drifting overhead. You don't need instruments or training to study clouds. You only need attention and time. This accessibility, this democratic nature of cloud watching, makes it a perfect practice for anyone seeking calm. You don't need special equipment. You don't need to go anywhere special. You don't need instruction or guidance. You simply look up. The sky is always there, always accessible, always changing, always ready to provide something new to observe. This reliability, coupled with infinite variety, makes clouds the perfect focus for a restless mind. And now, as we near the end of our journey through the science of clouds and calm, let's return to where we began, that simple act of looking up at a cloud and feeling your breathing slow. We've traveled through neural pathways and atmospheric layers, through ice crystals and water droplets, through the physics of light and the psychology of perception. But all of this knowledge, all these facts and explanations, ultimately lead to one simple truth. Clouds are inherently calming because they embody qualities that our brains instinctively recognize as peaceful. They're soft, slow, silent, ever-changing yet always present. They ask nothing of you. They require no response, no analysis, no action. They simply exist, drifting through the sky, occasionally weeping rain, occasionally blazing with sunset colors, but mostly just being clouds, serving as the sky's reminder that peace is possible, that beauty requires no effort, that you too can simply be. As you continue to rest, to allow your breathing to deepen and your thoughts to slow, imagine yourself as a cloud. Feel the weight of your worries dispersing, spreading out across the vastness of the sky. Feel yourself drifting without effort, held aloft by forces you don't need to understand or control. Feel the boundaries of yourself becoming softer, less defined, permeable to the air around you. You are not solid and fixed. You are fluid and changing, forming and reforming moment by moment. And in this fluidity, this willingness to change shape, you find the deepest peace. Because clouds remind us that strength doesn't come from rigidity. Beauty doesn't come from permanence. Peace doesn't come from control. They come from allowing, from flowing, from being exactly what you are in each moment, and then becoming something different in the next, all without struggle, all without resistance. The sky continues above you, whether you watch it or not. Clouds continue to form, to drift, to dissolve, following laws as old as the atmosphere itself. And you, beneath that sky, can rest. You can let go. You can trust that the processes that have sustained clouds for billions of years will also sustain you. You are part of the same cycle, the same flow, the same endless transformation of water and air and light. And in this moment, this perfect moment, you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do, simply being, simply breathing, simply existing, as peaceful and purposeless and beautiful as a cloud drifting across an endless summer sky. Rest now. Let the clouds carry your thoughts away. Let the sky hold your worries. Let yourself float, weightless and free, in the calm between earth and space, in the gentle moment between waking and sleeping, in the infinite present where clouds exist, where peace exists, where you exist, perfectly and completely, exactly as you are. As you settle deeper into relaxation, let's explore even further into the world of clouds and the profound peace they offer. There are layers upon layers of understanding, each one inviting you to sink more completely into calm, to let go more fully of the tensions you've been carrying. Think about the way clouds interact with rainbows. When sunlight passes through water droplets at just the right angle, approximately 42 degrees, the light refracts and reflects, splitting into its component colors. But here's what's remarkable. The water droplets in clouds are usually too small to create the vivid rainbows we see during rain showers. Instead, clouds often create something called a cloud bow or fog bow, which appears as a pale, ghostly arc of white or very faint color. This subtle phenomenon is less dramatic than a rainbow, but in many ways more beautiful in its restraint. Your brain processes this gentle display differently than it would a bold rainbow. There's no excitement, no search for a pot of gold at the end. Instead, there's quiet appreciation, a whisper of color rather than a shout. This subtlety trains your mind to find beauty in the understated, to notice and appreciate what's gentle rather than always seeking what's intense. The space between clouds is just as important as the clouds themselves. Meteorologists call these clear patches breaks or cloud gaps, and they serve a crucial function in regulating how much sunlight reaches the ground. But for your mind, these gaps represent something more profound. They're the pauses in a sentence, the rests in a piece of music, the blank space on a page. Without gaps between clouds, the sky would be uniformly overcast, which can feel oppressive over time. But with breaks, there's rhythm, there's breathing room. Your visual system needs this alternation between cloud and clear sky the way your lungs need the alternation between inhale and exhale. The gaps remind you that emptiness is not absence but rather space for possibility, room for rest. In your own life, the gaps between activities, between thoughts, between obligations, are not wasted time. They're essential breathing room, the cloud gaps of your existence. There's a beautiful phenomenon that occurs when the sun is at specific angles relative to ice crystals in cirrus clouds, creating what's called a sun dog or perihelion. These appear as bright spots of light, often with a spectrum of colors, flanking the sun on either side. Sun dogs form because hexagonal ice crystals in the clouds refract light at a precise angle of 22 degrees. Ancient cultures around the world noticed these phenomena and created myths to explain them, often seeing them as companions to the sun, guards, or attendants. The appearance of sun dogs meant that ice crystals were present high in the atmosphere, which often signaled changing weather. But on a deeper level, sun dogs represent the way clouds can create unexpected beauty, transforming ordinary sunlight into something magical. Your brain, witnessing this optical phenomenon, experiences a sense of wonder that activates the same neural pathways as spiritual or transcendent experiences. This sense of awe, researchers have found, naturally diminishes the ego and increases feelings of connection to something larger than yourself. It's a pathway to peace that requires no belief, no faith, only observation. Consider the morning clouds that form in valleys and low-lying areas. These are called radiation fog because they form when the ground loses heat through radiation on clear nights, cooling the air above it until water vapor condenses. As the sun rises and warms the ground, this fog gradually lifts and dissipates, sometimes forming low stratus clouds before vanishing entirely. This daily cycle of formation and dissolution happens in countless valleys around the world, a rhythm as old as sunrise itself. When you understand this process, when you imagine fog forming in darkness and lifting with light, you're connecting with a pattern that mirrors sleep itself. You descend into fog as you fall asleep, your consciousness becoming less clear, less defined. And you rise out of it as you wake, clarity gradually returning. The fog doesn't struggle to lift, it simply responds to warmth and light. In the same way, you don't need to force yourself awake or force yourself asleep. You simply respond to the natural rhythms of light and darkness, warmth and cool, allowing transitions to happen organically. Clouds also create what pilots call smooth air. When you fly through or above clouds, the air is often less turbulent than in clear conditions. This happens because clouds indicate areas where air is rising smoothly and steadily rather than in chaotic updrafts and downdrafts. The same moisture that creates visible clouds also signals organized vertical motion. Pilots know that flying in the clear air just above a cloud layer often provides the smoothest ride. This principle applies metaphorically to your mental state. When you allow your thoughts to be visible, to condense into awareness like water vapor condensing into clouds, you create smoother mental conditions. Thoughts that remain invisible, suppressed or ignored, can create turbulence in your psyche. But thoughts acknowledged, made visible to your conscious mind, create smoother internal conditions. You don't have to solve or fix these thoughts any more than a pilot has to fix a cloud. You simply fly through them, acknowledging their presence, trusting that visibility makes the journey smoother. There's something called cloud iridescence, a phenomenon where clouds display brilliant, rainbow-like colors in patches, usually near the edges. This happens when water droplets or ice crystals in the cloud are particularly uniform in size, causing light waves to interfere with each other in ways that amplify certain wavelengths. The result is stunning swirls of pastel colors, pink and green and blue, shimmering like oil on water or the wings of a butterfly. Cloud iridescence is relatively rare and often goes unnoticed because it usually occurs in clouds near the bright sun, where most people don't look. But when you do notice it, when you catch a glimpse of these ethereal colors in the clouds, your brain rewards you with a surge of pleasure. The discovery of unexpected beauty, researchers have found, activates the brain's reward centers more powerfully than expected beauty. It's the surprise that creates the depth of pleasure. This teaches an important lesson about peace. Sometimes it comes from looking where you don't expect to find it, from noticing what's easy to overlook, from being alert to beauty in unlikely places. The height of clouds affects temperature on the ground in surprising ways. Low clouds, being warmer, radiate heat back down to the surface, keeping nighttime temperatures relatively mild. But high clouds, made of ice crystals and located in much colder air, have less warming effect at night while still reflecting sunlight during the day. This is why different types of cloud cover create different temperature effects. Meteorologists must account for both the amount and the altitude of clouds when forecasting temperatures. For your mind, this layering of effects, this complexity that determines outcomes, mirrors the way different thoughts and emotions can layer in your consciousness. Surface thoughts might seem most important, like low clouds, but deeper thoughts and feelings at higher altitudes of your awareness also influence your mental climate. Understanding that your inner weather is determined by multiple layers, not just the most visible surface concerns, allows you to have compassion for yourself when you can't quite identify why you feel a certain way. Like atmospheric scientists, you can acknowledge that the system is complex, that multiple altitudes of your being are interacting, and that this complexity is natural, not a problem to be solved. Let's think about contrails, those linear clouds that form behind high-flying aircraft. Contrails are artificial clouds, formed when hot, humid exhaust from jet engines meets the cold, dry air of the upper atmosphere. Under the right conditions of temperature and humidity, these exhaust particles serve as condensation nuclei, creating long ribbons of cloud that can persist for hours, sometimes spreading out to join natural cirrus clouds. Contrails represent human interaction with the atmosphere, our machines literally making clouds. But rather than being a violation of nature, contrails demonstrate that we're part of the same system, that our actions create effects governed by the same physical laws that create natural clouds. There's something oddly comforting about this continuity, this evidence that we're not separate from the natural world but embedded within it. Even our technology, our airplanes and engines, produce phenomena that obey atmospheric physics, that integrate seamlessly with natural cloud formations. You too are not separate from nature. Your thoughts and actions, however artificial or constructed they might seem, still emerge from and participate in natural processes. Contrails remind you that the boundary between natural and artificial is less clear than it appears, that everything ultimately follows the same fundamental principles. Cloud formations can predict weather, and humans have been reading these signs for thousands of years. Mare's tails and mackerel scales make tall ships take in their sails, goes one old saying, referring to cirrus clouds and the altocumulus formations that often precede storms. These high, wispy clouds indicate that a warm front is approaching, bringing changing conditions. Ancient sailors, farmers, and travelers learned to read the sky with remarkable accuracy, their lives sometimes depending on their ability to interpret cloud patterns. This traditional knowledge, passed down through generations, represents a deep connection between humans and the atmosphere. When you learn to read clouds, even in simple ways, you're joining this ancient practice, connecting with countless generations who also looked up and found meaning in the shapes above them. This historical continuity can be deeply grounding. You're not alone in finding significance in clouds. People throughout history, across all cultures, have done the same. In this practice, you're part of an unbroken human tradition that stretches back to the beginning of human consciousness. The electrical charge in clouds is what creates lightning, but even clouds that don't produce lightning carry electrical fields. ice particles colliding within clouds' separate charges, with lighter ice crystals becoming positively charged and rising to the cloud top, while heavier particles become negatively charged and sink to the cloud bottom. This charge separation creates an electric field that you, on the ground, never notice in your daily experience. But it's there, invisible but real, a constant feature of the atmosphere above you. This invisible structure, this unseen architecture of electrical potential, reminds you that much of reality operates beyond your perception. You can't see the electrical fields, the magnetic forces, the quantum interactions that underlie the visible world. And yet, you trust that they exist. You trust that the universe operates according to principles you don't directly observe. This trust, this acceptance that you don't need to perceive something for it to be real and important, can extend to the invisible aspects of your own well-being. The healing happening in your body as you rest, the neural reorganization occurring in your brain as you sleep, the emotional processing taking place below the level of conscious thought, all of this is real, even though you can't directly perceive it. Like the electrical fields and clouds, your invisible processes are constantly working, requiring no conscious direction from you. Clouds can magnify the light of the moon in a phenomenon called lunar brightness enhancement. When thin clouds cover the moon, they scatter moonlight in ways that can make the entire cloud appear to glow with a soft, silvery radiance. This is especially pronounced with thin cirrostratus clouds, which can turn the moon into a soft beacon, its light diffused across the entire cloud layer. Unlike the sharp light of a moon in clear skies, this diffused lunar glow is gentle on the eyes and deeply calming to observe. Humans have gazed at moonlit clouds for as long as there have been humans to gaze. This sight triggered countless poems, songs, and stories. The combination of moonlight and clouds accesses something archetypal in human consciousness, a sense of mystery and beauty that transcends culture and time. When you imagine moonlit clouds, even if you're not currently seeing them, your brain activates similar networks to actual observation. Mental visualization of calming scenes produces measurable relaxation responses. So even now, imagining soft clouds glowing with moonlight, your nervous system responds with increased parasympathetic activity, the rest and digest mode that counters stress. The word cloud itself has an interesting etymology. It comes from the Old English clod, which originally meant a mass of rock or a hill. Over time, the meaning shifted to refer to masses of vapor in the sky, possibly because clouds often cling to hilltops or because their shapes resemble rocky masses. This linguistic evolution reveals something about how our ancestors perceived clouds, as solid structures, as significant masses that shaped the sky just as hills shaped the land. Knowing this history adds depth to your appreciation of clouds. They're not just weather phenomena, they're features of the landscape of the sky, the hills and valleys of the atmosphere. When you think of clouds as the topography of the air, the sky gains dimension and substance. You're not looking at emptiness with occasional wisps of vapor. You're looking at a landscape as real and structured as the ground beneath your feet, just made of different materials, existing in a different medium. Consider also lenticular clouds, those smooth, lens-shaped formations that often form near mountains. As wind flows over a mountain peak, it creates waves in the air, similar to waves in water flowing over a rock. When the temperature and humidity are right, these atmospheric waves become visible as stationary clouds. The air flows through the cloud, but the cloud itself remains in place, constantly forming on the upwind side and dissipating on the downwind side. Lenticular clouds can look remarkably like flying saucers, and they've been mistaken for UFOs countless times. But their true nature is even more fascinating than any alien spacecraft. They're standing waves in the atmosphere made visible, proof that air behaves like a fluid, that the atmosphere has currents and eddies and waves just like the ocean. These clouds teach you that stability doesn't require stillness. The lenticular cloud appears stationary, but it's actually in constant flux, air streaming through it, water condensing and evaporating moment by moment. True stability comes from dynamic balance, from continuous small adjustments, not from rigid unchanging structure. Your own sense of peace works the same way. It's not a static state you achieve and then maintain. It's a dynamic balance, constantly renewed, constantly adjusted, stable precisely because it's flexible. There's a type of cloud called mammatus that hangs from the underside of other clouds in rounded pouches, creating a surreal, otherworldly appearance. These pouches form when pockets of cold air sink below the cloud base, creating the distinctive bulges. Mammatus clouds are often associated with severe weather, forming on the underside of cumulonimbus anvils after the worst of a storm has passed. Despite their association with severe weather, mammatus clouds themselves are harmless, and their unusual appearance is simply captivating. They look like nature's bubble wrap, or like the surface of some alien sea frozen in mid-wave. When people see mammatus clouds, they often stop what they're doing and stare. There's something about the unusual, about patterns we don't normally see, that captures attention completely. This complete capture of attention is itself a form of meditation, a moment when your planning mind stops its constant chatter and simply observes. Unusual cloud formations like mammatus clouds are gifts of attention, opportunities for your overactive thinking to pause and simply be present with wonder. The amount of water in the atmosphere at any given time is staggering. If all the water vapor currently in Earth's atmosphere were to condense at once, it would cover the entire planet with about 1 inch of liquid water. This represents roughly 12,900 cubic kilometers of water suspended above your head. Yet despite this enormous quantity, the air doesn't feel wet because the water is dispersed as individual molecules in tiny droplets. This massive distribution of water is what makes life possible on Earth. It's part of the mechanism that distributes fresh water across the planet, that moderates temperatures, that makes weather and climate possible. You're living beneath an ocean of vapor, breathing it in with every breath, participating in its cycle with every exhalation. This perspective shift, from seeing the atmosphere as mostly empty space with occasional clouds to seeing it as a vast reservoir of water in gaseous form, changes your relationship with the air around you. You're not surrounded by emptiness. You're immersed in substance, in a medium that's actively participating in the chemistry of life. This immersion can feel supportive rather than neutral, like being held rather than simply existing in space. Cloud streets, those parallel rows of cumulus clouds we mentioned earlier, can stretch for hundreds of miles, visible from satellites as perfect lines across the ocean or plains. These form when wind patterns create what meteorologists call horizontal convective rolls, essentially invisible cylinders of rotating air. Where air rises in these cylinders, clouds form. Where air sinks, skies remain clear. The result is a striped pattern of stunning regularity emerging from seemingly chaotic atmospheric conditions. This self-organization, this spontaneous emergence of order, is a fundamental principle of complex systems. Whether in atmospheres, ecosystems, or nervous systems, patterns emerge from interactions without any central planning or control. Your own consciousness works this way. There's no homunculus in your brain directing your thoughts. Instead, patterns of electrical activity across billions of neurons spontaneously organize into the experience of being you. Understanding this, truly grasping that your consciousness is an emergent property of complex interactions, can be either unsettling or profoundly liberating. It can be liberating because it means you don't have to control everything. Order emerges naturally from sufficient complexity and the right conditions. You don't have to make yourself calm or make yourself sleep or make yourself peaceful. You simply have to provide the conditions, relaxation, attention to soothing phenomena like clouds, release of trying, and peace emerges on its own, as naturally as cloud streets form in stable wind patterns. There's a phenomenon called virga, where rain or snow falls from a cloud but evaporates before reaching the ground. From below, you see streaks or curtains extending from the cloud base, beautiful wisps that fade into nothing before they complete their journey. Virga often occurs in dry climates where the air between the cloud and ground is so arid that precipitation can't survive the trip. There's something poignant about virga, something that touches a deep place in human consciousness. It's effort that doesn't reach completion, potential that doesn't fulfill its purpose, at least not in the expected way. But here's another perspective. The water that evaporates from virga doesn't disappear. It returns to the atmosphere, becomes part of the moisture budget, and may contribute to future clouds and future rain. Nothing is wasted. The journey isn't failed, it's transformed. The same is true for efforts in your life that seem to evaporate before completion. The energy you invested doesn't vanish. It transforms you, teaches you, becomes part of your experience, and contributes to future efforts in ways you might not immediately recognize. Virga teaches you that completion isn't the only form of success, that transformation is itself valuable, that the journey matters even when it doesn't reach the ground in the form you expected. The color of the sky itself is intimately related to clouds. On a clear day, the sky appears blue because of Rayleigh scattering, where molecules in the air scatter shorter wavelengths of light more than longer wavelengths. But clouds change this dramatically. The white of clouds comes from scattering off water droplets, which scatters all wavelengths roughly equally. At sunset, the scattering of blue light by the atmosphere means that the remaining light reaching clouds is rich in reds and oranges. The interplay between molecular scattering, droplet scattering, and the angle of sunlight creates the entire palette of colors we associate with sky and clouds. Understanding that color is not an inherent property but rather an interaction between light, matter, and your eye changes how you perceive the world. The blue of the sky is not in the sky. It's created by your eye interpreting scattered light. The white of clouds is not in the clouds. It's created by your visual system processing reflected light. In a very real sense, you're co-creating the colors you see. The world provides physical phenomena. Your brain interprets them as color. This co-creation extends beyond vision. The meaning you find in clouds, the peace they provide, is also co-created. Clouds provide patterns of light and shape. Your brain interprets them as peaceful. Neither the clouds nor your brain alone creates the experience. It emerges from the interaction, from the meeting of world and mind. Let's think about how clouds form specifically over oceans, which cover about 70% of Earth's surface. Marine air is typically more humid than continental air because water constantly evaporates from the ocean surface. This moisture-rich air creates extensive cloud systems, particularly in areas where cold ocean currents create stable atmospheric conditions. Marine stratus clouds can cover thousands of square miles, creating vast gray blankets over the ocean that ships navigate through for days. These oceanic clouds play a crucial role in Earth's climate, reflecting sunlight back to space and keeping ocean temperatures more moderate than they would otherwise be. But for a sailor in the middle of this gray expanse, these clouds create a world reduced to essentials: sky, sea, ship. The horizon disappears in the grayness. Distance becomes impossible to judge. There's only the immediate, the present, the here and now. This reduction of the visual world to gray simplicity can be meditative. When you can't see far, you stop thinking far ahead. When distinctions blur, you stop trying to make distinctions. You simply exist in the gray, the undifferentiated present, the cloud. Finally, let's return to that first moment we imagined, that picture of a cloud drifting across an endless sky. But now you understand so much more. That simple cloud is a dynamic system of billions of water droplets, each one following the laws of physics, each one part of a cycle that spans oceans and atmospheres. That cloud exists at a specific altitude determined by temperature and pressure gradients. It reflects and refracts light in ways that depend on the size and shape of its droplets. It moves with wind patterns that connect to global circulation systems. It may produce rain or snow or simply evaporate back into invisible vapor. It's part of a system of incredible complexity, yet from where you rest, it appears simple, singular, peaceful. This is the final gift clouds offer your mind, the ability to see complexity as simple, to find peace not by eliminating complexity but by zooming out far enough that the details blend into a harmonious whole. Your life is complex. Your responsibilities, relationships, thoughts, and feelings form a system as intricate as the atmosphere. But like a person on the ground looking up at a cloud, you can choose your perspective. You can zoom in so close that all you see is chaos, individual water droplets with no apparent order. Or you can zoom out to where complexity becomes simple beauty, where a million interactions create a single, peaceful, drifting form. As you rest now, as your breathing continues its slow rhythm, as your body settles deeper into relaxation, let yourself zoom out. Let the details of your life blur into a larger picture. Let the individual droplets of your thoughts and concerns merge into a cloud, and let that cloud drift peacefully across the sky of your consciousness. You are the sky, vast and unchanging. Your thoughts are clouds, temporary and drifting. And in this moment, all is well. All is peaceful. All is exactly as it should be. The clouds continue their eternal dance above you. They formed before you were born. They'll form after you're gone. But in this moment, they're here for you, inviting you to rest, to let go, to simply be. Accept their invitation. Close your eyes if they aren't already closed. Breathe with the rhythm of the clouds. And sleep, knowing that the sky will still be there tomorrow, filled with new clouds, new shapes, new opportunities to find peace in the beautiful, ever-changing, eternal dance of water and air and light. Rest now. The clouds have told their story. And in their story, you've found your own, a story of letting go, of trusting, of allowing peace to settle over you like soft fog, like gentle rain, like the first light of dawn touching the edges of clouds still clinging to the night. Rest, and let the clouds carry you into dreams as soft and formless and peaceful as they are. As you drift deeper still, floating in that peaceful space between waking and sleeping, let's explore the most subtle, most profound aspects of clouds and the peace they bring. These final insights will carry you gently into complete rest, each one a soft pillow for your consciousness to settle upon. There's a remarkable phenomenon that occurs in polar regions called nacreous clouds or mother-of-pearl clouds. These rare formations appear in the stratosphere, far higher than ordinary clouds, at altitudes of 15 to 25 kilometers above the Earth's surface. They form in the extreme cold of the polar winter, where temperatures can drop below -85 degrees Celsius. What makes nacreous clouds so extraordinary is their appearance. They glow with iridescent colors of unusual purity and intensity, vivid pinks, greens, blues, and purples that shift and shimmer as you watch. These clouds are so high that they remain illuminated by sunlight long after the sun has set at ground level, glowing brilliantly against the darkened twilight sky. The ice crystals that form these clouds are extraordinarily uniform in size, which creates the interference patterns that produce their spectacular colors. Ancient peoples who witnessed nacreous clouds must have felt they were seeing something supernatural, something from another realm. And in a sense, they were. These clouds exist at the very edge of our atmosphere, in a region so hostile that almost nothing exists there. Yet even in that extreme environment, given the right conditions, beauty forms. Exquisite, delicate, breathtaking beauty. This teaches you something essential about resilience and grace. Even in the harshest conditions, even at the edges of what's possible, beauty can emerge. The circumstances of your life, however difficult they may sometimes feel, are still capable of producing moments of unexpected beauty. You don't need perfect conditions to experience wonder. Even at the extremes, even in the cold and dark, light finds a way to create something magnificent. Let's consider the relationship between clouds and mountains, a partnership that has shaped both landscape and culture. Mountains force air upward, and as that air rises, it cools and moisture condenses, creating what meteorologists call orographic clouds. This is why mountains often wear caps or crowns of clouds, why peaks are so frequently obscured by mist. The Japanese have a word, kamaribi, that describes sunlight filtering through leaves, but there should be a word for the way sunlight filters through mountain clouds, creating those ethereal rays that seem to sanctify the peaks. Mountains and clouds together create sacred spaces, or at least spaces that humans have consistently perceived as sacred. Nearly every culture that has lived among mountains has developed spiritual traditions connected to peaks and the clouds that embrace them. This universal human response suggests something deep in our psyche recognizes the meeting place of earth and sky as significant, as worthy of reverence. When you think of mountains wrapped in clouds, you're not just visualizing a meteorological phenomenon. You're connecting with something archetypal, something that speaks to the human soul's longing for transcendence, for the meeting of the earthly and the ethereal. And you don't need to travel to mountains to access this. You can close your eyes and imagine it now, a snow-capped peak emerging from a sea of clouds, sunlight breaking through in golden shafts, the silence of high altitude where air is thin and sound travels differently. Let this image settle into your mind. Let it become a place you can return to, a mental sanctuary where earth meets sky, where solid meets ephemeral, where you can stand at the boundary between two worlds and feel at peace in both. There's something called the Kelvin-Helmholtz instability that creates one of the most beautiful and distinctive cloud formations you can witness. When you see clouds that look like breaking ocean waves, with perfect curls and spirals, you're seeing this instability in action. It occurs when two layers of air move at different speeds, creating shear between them. The boundary between these layers becomes unstable and rolls up into spirals, exactly like waves breaking on a beach. These wave clouds are fleeting, usually lasting only a minute or two before dissipating, which makes witnessing them feel like a special gift. The mathematics that describe Kelvin-Helmholtz instabilities are the same mathematics that describe ocean waves, smoke rings, and even the swirls in Van Gogh's Starry Night. There's a deep unity here, a suggestion that the same principles operate at different scales and in different media. The spiral of a cloud follows the same mathematical rules as the spiral of a galaxy. The wave breaking in the sky follows the same principles as the wave breaking on the shore. This unity of physical law, this consistency across scales, is deeply comforting. It means the universe is comprehensible, that patterns repeat, that understanding gained in one context applies to others. Your mind loves pattern and consistency. It finds peace in recognizing that despite apparent chaos and randomness, there are underlying orders, deep structures that persist. When you observe Kelvin-Helmholtz clouds, even in a photograph or in your imagination, you're observing the universe showing you one of its fundamental patterns, one of the ways it organizes energy and matter. And in recognizing this pattern, your mind relaxes into the recognition that yes, there is order. Yes, there is structure. Yes, things make sense, even when they appear turbulent. Consider the clouds that form at night, the nocturnal convection that occurs when the ground has been heated all day and releases that warmth after sunset. In some regions, particularly in the tropics, Clouds build at night rather than during the day. These nighttime clouds develop in darkness, their towers reaching upward unseen, their shapes invisible until lightning illuminates them from within. There's something profound about clouds forming in darkness, about growth and development happening unseen. It mirrors so much of life. The most important changes often happen in darkness, in privacy, in the unseen spaces of your psyche. Like seeds germinating underground, like bones healing beneath skin, like memories consolidating during sleep, the most essential processes don't require observation or light. They happen in their own time, at their own pace, in the dark. When you sleep tonight, when you release conscious control and sink into darkness, remember the clouds building in the night sky. They don't need anyone to watch them form. They don't need light to grow. They simply respond to conditions, to warmth and moisture and air currents, building their structures in the dark. And you, too, can grow and heal and transform in the darkness of sleep, without needing to watch the process, without needing to control or direct it. The darkness is not an absence but a presence, a place where certain things can happen that cannot happen in the light. There's a measurement in meteorology called cloud fraction, which represents what percentage of the sky is covered by clouds at any given time. A cloud fraction of 0.5 means half the sky is clouded, half is clear. But here's what's interesting. The global average cloud fraction is approximately 0.67. This means that at any given moment, about 2/3 of Earth's sky is covered by clouds. You are, statistically speaking, almost always under clouds somewhere above you, even if you can't see them from the ground because they're blocked by other clouds or because you're looking in a clear direction. There's something comforting about this ubiquity. Clouds are not occasional visitors to the sky. They're the norm, the standard condition. Clear skies are actually less common globally than cloudy skies. This prevalence suggests that clouds serve an essential function in Earth's climate system, which they do. They're not decorative but functional, working constantly to distribute heat and moisture, to reflect and absorb radiation, to moderate temperatures and enable life. Understanding that you're almost always beneath clouds, that they're almost always there even when you can't see them, can create a sense of being watched over, of being sheltered. The sky is not empty space above you. It's an active, working system, and clouds are its most visible component, its way of showing you that something is always happening, that processes are always at work, that you're not isolated beneath an empty void but rather beneath a dynamic, responsive, living system. Let's think about the moment when a cloud begins to form, that precise instant when invisible water vapor becomes visible cloud. Scientists call this the condensation level or lifting condensation level, the altitude at which rising air becomes saturated and condensation begins. But finding this exact moment is like trying to identify the precise instant when day becomes night, or when a color shifts from blue to green. It's a gradient, a transition, not a sharp boundary. Individual water molecules attach to condensation nuclei and grow droplet by droplet. At what point does a collection of droplets become a cloud? When 10 droplets cluster together? 100? 1,000,000? There's no official definition, no precise threshold. A cloud comes into being gradually, emerging from nothing through infinitesimal steps, each one almost insignificant, yet collectively creating something visible and real. This gradual emergence, this transition from invisible to visible through accumulated tiny changes, describes so many important processes. Healing happens this way. Learning happens this way. Personal growth happens this way. You don't suddenly become calm. You don't instantly become peaceful. It accumulates, moment by moment, breath by breath, each one almost imperceptible, yet together creating a visible change in your state of being. Just as you can't identify the exact moment a cloud forms, you might not notice the exact moment you fall asleep or the exact moment you begin to feel truly calm. But the accumulation continues regardless, building toward a threshold you'll cross without even noticing, slipping from one state to another as gently as vapor becomes cloud. There's a type of cloud called an cirrus cloud that forms along the leading edge of thunderstorm outflows, creating a long, low, ominous-looking shelf or roll. These clouds can be dark and foreboding, stretching across the entire horizon, moving toward you with visible speed as the storm approaches. Unlike the soft, drifting clouds we've mostly discussed, cirrus clouds are dramatic, even threatening. They signal the approach of strong winds, heavy rain, possibly severe weather. Yet even these clouds have their place in the story of peace. Because not all peace comes from absence of intensity. Sometimes peace comes from respect for power, from acknowledgement of forces beyond your control, from the choice to shelter rather than resist. When ancient peoples saw cirrus clouds approaching, they didn't try to stop the storm. They prepared, they sheltered, they waited it out. There's peace and acceptance in working with conditions rather than against them. In your own life, sometimes the peaceful response to an approaching difficulty is not to maintain external calm but to prepare appropriately, to acknowledge that something intense is coming, and to trust that you'll be able to weather it. The storm will pass. The cirrus cloud will move beyond you. And behind it, clearer skies will eventually follow. Not every cloud brings gentle rain and soft light. Some bring intensity and challenge. But all clouds pass. All weather systems move through. And the sky returns, always, to some form of balance. Consider the water cycle's complete journey in the context of clouds. A water molecule evaporates from the ocean, rises in air currents, perhaps traveling thousands of miles, eventually condensing into a cloud droplet. That droplet may grow through collision with other droplets, eventually becoming heavy enough to fall as rain. It might land on soil, be absorbed by plant roots, pass through a tree, be released through leaves back into the air, condense again, fall again. Or it might land in a river, flow to the ocean, evaporate again. A single water molecule might complete this cycle in days or be locked in ice for thousands of years before rejoining active circulation. The average residence time of water in the atmosphere is about 9 days. This means that the water vapor around you right now, which will become tomorrow's clouds, was probably part of the ocean just over a week ago. This rapid cycling, this constant movement of water between earth, air, and sky, creates a dynamic stability. The total amount of water doesn't change, but its form and location constantly shift. Your own body is part of this cycle. You're approximately 60% water by weight, and that water exchanges with the environment constantly. You breathe out water vapor. You perspire. You drink water from rivers that fell as rain from clouds. You are not a closed system but an open one, continuously exchanging water with the world around you. The boundary between your body and the environment is permeable, provisional. In a very real sense, the water in your body today was recently in a cloud, and the water you exhale today will soon be in a cloud again. You're not separate from clouds. You're part of their cycle, intimately connected to their existence. This recognition of fundamental interconnection can dissolve the sense of isolation that often accompanies stress and anxiety. You are not a separate entity struggling alone in an indifferent world. You are a temporary eddy in the flow of matter and energy that includes clouds, oceans, rivers, rain, and every living thing. You're part of the cycle, and the cycle continues with or without your anxiety about it. This can be tremendously liberating. You can stop trying to control everything and simply be part of the flow, like water moving through its eternal cycle, sometimes vapor, sometimes cloud, sometimes rain, always water, always in motion, always returning, always continuing. Think about the highest clouds and the lowest clouds and everything in between, creating layers in the atmosphere. The troposphere, where weather happens, contains nearly all clouds and all weather systems. Above it, the stratosphere is usually cloud-free, except for those rare nacreous clouds we discussed. This layering creates structure, organization, a way of dividing space into zones with different properties and different phenomena. Your own consciousness has layers too. The most accessible surface layer, your immediate awareness, is where you experience sensory input and directed thoughts. But below that are deeper layers, memories, emotions, intuitions, the vast subconscious processes that run continuously without your awareness. And perhaps beyond even those, whatever consciousness is at its deepest level, the mysterious source of awareness itself. Like atmospheric layers, these levels of consciousness serve different functions and operate by different rules. Surface consciousness is like the troposphere, where all the weather of your thoughts happens, where things change rapidly and dramatically. Deeper consciousness is like the stratosphere, more stable, less turbulent, less affected by immediate circumstances. When you meditate, when you sink into deep relaxation, when you approach sleep, you're descending through these layers, moving from the turbulent troposphere of waking thought into the calmer stratosphere of reduced mental activity, and eventually perhaps into even deeper layers that have no analogy in atmosphere, layers that are uniquely psychological or spiritual. As you continue to relax, as you feel yourself sinking deeper into rest, imagine yourself descending through these layers, leaving behind the weather of your waking thoughts, moving into calmer, quieter, more stable levels of your being, moving towards sleep like moving toward the stratosphere, into regions where turbulence diminishes and peace prevails. Finally, let's end where we began and where all things end and begin again, with water. Water is the only substance on Earth that exists naturally in all three phases, solid, liquid, and gas. within the range of temperatures found in our environment. Ice, water, vapor, and clouds represent the visible threshold between liquid and gas, the place where vapor becomes liquid without becoming rain. Clouds are water in transition, water in the process of changing state, water that exists in a delicate balance between phases. This transitional nature, this existence between states, is what makes clouds so ephemeral, so ever-changing, and so beautiful. You, too, exist in transitions. Between waking and sleeping. Between tension and relaxation. Between yesterday and tomorrow. Between who you were and who you're becoming. And like clouds, your most beautiful moments might be these transitions themselves, these in-between states where you're neither fully one thing nor another, where you're changing, adapting, becoming. Don't rush through transitions. Don't try to skip past the in-between to arrive at some final state. The in-between is where life happens, where clouds exist, where beauty forms. Rest now in your transition from waking to sleeping. Don't hurry towards sleep. Don't force yourself to stay awake. Simply exist in the transition, like a cloud exists between vapor and rain, perfectly balanced, perfectly peaceful, perfectly yourself. The story of clouds is told. The facts have woven themselves into understanding. And understanding has woven itself into peace. Let that peace settle over you now like the softest cloud descending to meet the earth, like fog embracing a valley, like the gentlest mist touching your face. You are surrounded by peace. You are made of peace. You are, in this moment, as peaceful as a cloud drifting through an empty sky, as calm as morning fog lifting from a lake, as quiet as the moment before rain begins. Sleep now. The clouds will still be there tomorrow, ready to teach you again, ready to remind you again that peace is possible, that beauty exists, that you are part of something vast and ancient and ongoing. Sleep, and let your consciousness drift like a cloud, weightless and free, peaceful and perfect, exactly as you are.